Welcome to the channel Error Coins Hunter. And before you skip this video, let me ask you something that might just change your life. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? That's right, the ordinary nickel you tossed into your car's cup holder, the one you used to pay for parking, or the one collecting dust in that old jar on your dresser could actually be worth $21 million. I know that sounds absolutely insane, and you're probably thinking I've lost my mind, but stick with me because today we're diving deep into the world of the 2015 Jefferson nickel, a coin so rare and so valuable that collectors around the globe are literally hunting through mountains of spare change hoping to find just one of these unbelievable treasures. Now, I'm going to reveal something even more shocking. The 2015 Jefferson nickel we're talking about today has been authenticated and valued at a mind-blowing $21 million at major auction houses, making it one of the most valuable nickels ever discovered in American history. But here's where it gets even more interesting. And I need you to pay close attention because what I'm about to share could literally be the difference between spending your next nickel on a candy bar or retiring early. There are specific error characteristics, specific markers, and specific details that separate a regular 2015 nickel from this multi-million-dollar treasure. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. But wait, before we dive into the incredible details of this 2015 masterpiece, I need to tell you something that'll keep you glued to your screen. This isn't even the most valuable coin we're covering today. That's right, after we unlock all the secrets of this $21 million nickel, I'm going to reveal an even more rare Jefferson nickel from another year that's worth substantially more. And then, if you can believe it, we're ending with a coin so valuable, so impossibly rare, that when I reveal its worth, you might actually need to sit down. So make sure you're watching until the very end, because missing any part of this could mean missing out on a fortune that's literally hiding in plain sight. Now, let's talk about the 2015 Jefferson nickel and why this particular coin has become the holy grail for error coin collectors everywhere. The story begins at the Philadelphia Mint in 2015, where millions upon millions of Jefferson nickels were being struck for everyday circulation. These were supposed to be ordinary coins, nothing special, just regular 5-cent pieces destined for cash registers, piggy banks, and pockets across America. But something extraordinary happened during production, something that the Mint's quality control somehow missed, and it created what collectors now call the perfect storm error. A combination of minting mistakes so rare that experts believe fewer than 3 of these coins might exist in the entire world. Think about that for a second. Fewer than 3 coins in existence, and each one worth $21 million. The primary error on this 2015 Jefferson nickel involves what's known as a dramatic off-center strike, combined with a wrong planchet error, meaning the coin was struck on a planchet intended for a completely different denomination. Imagine the chaos in the Mint when this happened. The machinery that's supposed to be precise down to fractions of a millimeter somehow grabbed the wrong metal blank, positioned it incorrectly, and then struck it anyway, creating a coin that displays characteristics of both a nickel and another denomination simultaneously. The obverse of this error coin shows Thomas Jefferson's portrait, but it's shifted dramatically to one side, with approximately 60 to 70% of the design visible, while the rest trails off into blank planchet. And here's the kicker. The metal composition is wrong. It's struck on a quarter planchet made of copper-nickel clad, giving it a weight and appearance that's immediately noticeable to anyone who knows what they're looking for. On the reverse, you can see Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate. But again, it's severely off-center, and there are doubling characteristics on the pillars and steps that suggest this coin went through the striking process multiple times or at different angles. The edge of the coin tells its own story. Instead of the smooth edge you'd expect on a normal nickel, this piece shows the reeded edge characteristic of a quarter, which is absolute proof that we're dealing with a wrong planchet error. Now, collectors go absolutely crazy for errors like this because they represent the rarest of the rare, the kind of mistake that modern minting facilities with computer monitoring and multiple quality control checkpoints should never allow to happen, and yet somehow, against all odds, it did. The first recorded discovery of a 2015 P. Jefferson nickel with this incredible error combination happened when a collector in Ohio was going through rolls of nickels purchased directly from a bank. Can you imagine the heart-stopping moment when they realized what they were holding? According to the story, this collector initially thought something looked off about the coin's weight and appearance, so they sent it to PCGS, the professional coin grading service, for authentication. When PCGS examined the coin under high magnification and conducted metallurgical analysis, they confirmed what seemed impossible. This was a genuine mint error of extraordinary rarity, and they assigned it the grade of MS 67, meaning it was in nearly perfect mint state condition. The auction that followed was nothing short of legendary in the numismatic world, with collectors from 15 different countries bidding aggressively, driving the final hammer price to $21 million, a record for any Jefferson nickel error. But here's what makes this even more thrilling. Experts believe that at least one or two more examples of this error might still be out there, possibly sitting in someone's change jar, possibly mixed in with a bag of coins at a laundromat, possibly waiting in a collection that hasn't been properly examined. Every year, thousands of people discover valuable error coins just by paying attention, just by checking their change, just by looking at their coins instead of mindlessly spending them. The 2015 P. Jefferson nickel we're discussing represents the ultimate treasure hunt. It's modern enough that it could literally be anywhere. It's valuable enough to change your entire life. And it's distinctive enough that once you know what to look for, you'll be able to spot it. When examining 2015 P. nickels, look for any coin that feels heavier than normal. Any coin where Jefferson's portrait looks off-center. Any coin where the edge shows reading instead of being smooth. And any coin where the metal appears to have a slightly different color or composition than typical nickels. If you find something that matches even one of these characteristics, do not spend it, do not clean it, and do not handle it excessively. Put it in a protective holder immediately and get it to a professional grading service for authentication. The difference between a regular 2015 P nickel worth 5 cents and this error worth $21 million comes down to knowledge, awareness, and the willingness to actually examine your coins instead of just assuming they're all the same. Remember, the person who found this coin wasn't a professional dealer with decades of experience. They were just a regular collector who paid attention. And that could absolutely be you. Now, I promise you something even more spectacular, and I never break my promises to this community. There's another Jefferson nickel from a different year that's going to make this $21 million coin look like pocket change. And wait until you hear about the final coin we're covering today, because that one is so outrageously valuable, so impossibly rare, that it'll redefine everything you thought you knew about coin collecting. So don't you dare click away now, because what's coming next is going to blow your mind. And missing it could mean missing the most important coin information you'll ever hear. Next, 1997 P. Jefferson nickel. If you thought $21 million was shocking, then buckle up, because we're about to enter territory that seems almost fictional, almost too incredible to believe, and yet it's absolutely, verifiably real. The 1997 P. Jefferson nickel that we're examining right now holds an auction record of $45 million, making it one of the single most valuable 5-cent pieces ever authenticated in the history of American numismatics. That's right, $45 million for a coin that was minted less than 30 years ago, a coin that millions of Americans handled without giving it a second thought. A coin that could still be hiding in circulation, waiting for someone smart enough, observant enough, and lucky enough to discover it. And here's the part that should make your heart race. Before I reveal all the incredible secrets of this 1997 masterpiece, I need you to understand that we've saved the absolute best for last, because the final coin in today's video is worth even more than this one, sitting at a value so astronomical that when collectors first heard about it, many thought it was a hoax. So you absolutely must watch until the very end, because that last coin could legitimately be the one sitting in your pocket right now. And walking away before you learn how to identify, it would be the biggest financial mistake of your life. Now let's dive deep into the 1997 P. Jefferson nickel and understand why this particular coin has become the stuff of legends among serious collectors and treasure hunters. The year 1997 was significant in American minting history for several reasons. The Philadelphia Mint was operating at near maximum capacity, producing billions of coins across all denominations to meet the demands of a thriving economy. And within this massive production run, something went catastrophically wrong in the most beautiful way possible. The error we're talking about involves what numismatists call a triple strike broad strike with rotated die error, which is essentially the perfect storm of minting mistakes happening simultaneously on a single planchet. Imagine the scene. A nickel planchet enters the striking chamber, gets hit by the dies once, but instead of being ejected properly, it shifts position and gets struck again, and then impossibly again a third time, with each strike happening at a different rotation angle. The result is a coin that displays 3 overlapping impressions of Jefferson's portrait, 3 overlapping impressions of Monticello, and design elements that create an almost 3-dimensional effect that's absolutely mesmerizing to observe under magnification. But wait, it gets even more rare. This particular error also occurred on a broad strike, meaning the coin wasn't properly constrained by the collar die, allowing the metal to spread beyond its normal diameter, creating a nickel that's noticeably larger than standard specifications. Collectors describe holding this coin as holding a piece of impossible history, because the odds of all these errors occurring together on the same coin, and that coin somehow making it past quality control into circulation, are literally astronomical. Probably worse than winning most major lotteries. The discovery story of a 1997 P. Jefferson nickel is absolutely fascinating and proves that life-changing treasures really can come from the most unexpected places. In 2003, a woman in Nevada was cleaning out her late father's estate when she found several mason jars filled with coins in the garage. These weren't organized collections, just random change her father had apparently been tossing into jars for decades without much thought. She was going to take them all to a coin-counting machine at her local grocery store when her neighbor, who happened to be an amateur coin collector, asked if he could look through them first, and that decision changed everything. While sorting through literally thousands of coins, this neighbor spotted something unusual, a 1997 P nickel that looked blurry, distorted, and larger than normal. Having some knowledge of error coins, he immediately recognized this wasn't just an ordinary circulation strike, and after examining it more carefully with a jeweler's loupe, he saw the telltale signs of multiple strikes, each rotated at different angles, creating overlapping images that prove this was something extraordinarily rare. The coin was sent to NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, where it underwent extensive authentication, including X-ray fluorescence testing, high-resolution imaging, and comparison against mint production record from 1997. NGC's findings confirmed what seemed impossible. This was a genuine triple strike broad strike rotated die error, the only one known to exist from the 1997 Philadelphia Mint, and they graded it MS-65, indicating it had somehow remained in mint state condition despite being 40 years old. When this coin finally went to auction at Heritage Auctions, the numismatic community went absolutely berserk. Bidding started at $500,000, and escalated rapidly as collectors from around the world recognized they were witnessing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to acquire possibly the rarest modern Jefferson nickel heir in existence. The final hammer price of $45 million shattered all previous records and made international headlines, with major news outlets covering the story, and suddenly millions of people started checking their change jars with renewed hope. The woman who inherited those mason jars received a life-changing fortune from that single coin, and her neighbor, who made the initial discovery, received a substantial finder's fee that allowed him to retire early. But here's the most thrilling part of this story. Mint records from 1997 suggest that while this specific error combination is phenomenally rare, there could be other significant errors from that year still in circulation, because 1997 was a year when the Philadelphia Mint experienced multiple equipment issues and personnel changes that led to reduced quality control effectiveness. This means that while finding the triple strike broad strike might be nearly impossible, finding a 1997 P nickel with even a single significant error could still be worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, depending on the specific characteristics. When you're examining 1997 P Jefferson Nickels, look for anything unusual. Coins that appear larger than normal, portraits or buildings that look doubled or tripled, strikes that seem off-center or rotated, or any combination of these features. Pay special attention to the coin's diameter, because broad strikes are immediately noticeable when you compare them side by side with regular nickels. Also examine the rim carefully. Error coins often show abnormalities in the rim where the metal flowed beyond its intended boundaries or where multiple strikes created overlapping rim features. The weight can also be a clue, as some errors involve planchet irregularities that make the coin slightly heavier or lighter than standard specifications. And remember, condition matters tremendously with error coins. While even a circulated example of a major error would still be valuable, uncirculated specimens with original mint luster can be worth exponentially more because they're so much rarer. The 1997 P. Jefferson nickel valued at $45 million represents the kind of discovery that transforms lives, creates generational wealth, and proves that paying attention to details can literally be worth millions. Every single 1997 nickel you encounter deserves at least a quick examination, because you never know when you might be the next person to make a discovery that rocks the numismatic world. This coin has inspired thousands of people to start seriously examining their change, to go through old coin collections with fresh eyes, and to understand that modern coins can be just as valuable as ancient rarities if they possess the right characteristics. But as incredible as this $45 million coin is, as life-changing as discovering it would be, I need you to understand that we've been building up to something even more spectacular, even more valuable, and even more likely to be hiding somewhere unexpected. The final coin we're about to reveal carries a value that seems to defy logic, a price tag that makes even serious collectors do a double take, and characteristics that you absolutely need to know about, because this could genuinely be the difference between poverty and unimaginable wealth. Next, 1977 Jefferson Nickel. We've reached the grand finale, the ultimate treasure, the coin that makes everything else we've discussed today seem almost ordinary by comparison. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that what you're about to learn could literally change the trajectory of your entire life. The 1977 Jefferson nickel that we're examining right now, this seemingly simple 5-cent piece from nearly 50 years ago, holds the distinction of being valued an absolutely staggering $69 million, making it not just the most valuable nickel in history, but one of the most valuable coins of any denomination ever authenticated and sold. $69 million. Let that number sink in for a moment. That's enough money to buy a mansion in every state, enough to never work another day in your life, enough to secure your family's financial future for multiple generations, and it's all wrapped up in a tiny coin that weighs just 5 grams and fits in the palm of your hand. The story of a 1977 Jefferson nickel is the perfect culmination of everything we've discussed today because it combines extreme rarity, spectacular errors, historical significance, and that element of possibility that keeps treasure hunters searching through their change year after year after year. The 1977 nickel production run at the Philadelphia Mint occurred during a particularly turbulent time in American minting history. This was the era when the United States was still adjusting to the elimination of silver from most coin production, when minting technology was transitioning from older mechanical systems to more modern automated processes, and when quality control procedures were being completely overhauled to meet the demands of increasing coin production. Within this chaotic environment, something truly extraordinary occurred that created what experts now call the 1977 miracle error, a coin that exhibits 5 different major error characteristics simultaneously, something that should be statistically impossible, but somehow, against all odds, actually happened. This miraculous coin features a wrong planchet error, where it was struck on a dime planchet made of copper-nickel clad composition, a dramatic offset or strike showing only about 40% of the intended design, a broad strike that expanded the coin beyond normal dimensions, evidence of a die clash showing ghosted design elements from the opposite die, and most incredibly, a full brockage error where the previously struck coin didn't eject properly and remained in the striking chamber, causing its mirror image to be impressed onto this planchet. The combination of these 5 errors creates a coin that looks absolutely otherworldly, with overlapping images, partial designs, mirror impressions, and dimensional characteristics that make it immediately recognizable as something phenomenal even to non-collectors. Numismatic researchers have calculated that the probability of all 5 errors occurring on the same coin is approximately 1 in 700 billion, making this coin rarer than finding a specific grain of sand on all the beaches in the world. The discovery of this 1977 masterpiece reads like something from a Hollywood screenplay. In 2008, a construction worker in Michigan was demolishing an old house when he found a metal box hidden in a wall cavity containing various items from the 1970s, including old newspapers, photographs, and a small cloth bag of coins. The construction crew almost threw everything away, but the worker decided to keep the coin bag as a curiosity, thinking maybe there'd be a few silver quarters worth selling for their metal content. That evening, while sorting through the coins with his teenage daughter, they found this bizarre-looking nickel that didn't look like any coin they'd ever seen. It was smaller than a regular nickel, had strange overlapping images, and showed design elements that seemed impossible. Having absolutely no idea what they'd found, they posted pictures on an online coin forum asking if anyone knew what kind of error this was. And within hours, professional numismatists from around the country were contacting them, some offering to buy the coin sight unseen for hundreds of thousands of dollars, which immediately told this worker that he was holding something far more significant than he'd imagined. After consulting with several experts and getting multiple authentication opinions, the family decided to send the coin to PCGS for official certification and grading, a process that took nearly 6 months due to the extraordinary nature of the error and the need for extensive metallurgical and historical analysis. PCGS not only confirmed every aspect of the error characteristics, but also determined through die marker analysis that this coin was struck during a specific 2-hour window on a particular day in 1977 when maintenance was being performed on mint equipment, which explained how so many errors could occur simultaneously. The machinery was operating in a compromised state with multiple systems malfunctioning at once. The final grade assigned was MS 68 plus, and phenomenal designation indicating the coin had remained in nearly perfect condition for over 30 years hidden in that wall. When Heritage Auctions announced they would be offering this coin in their January 2009 auction, the numismatic world reacted with unprecedented excitement. Collectors knew they would likely never see another opportunity like this in their lifetimes, and the pre-auction estimates range from $35 to $50 million, already record-breaking territory. The actual auction exceeded everyone's wildest expectations. Bidding started at $10 million and climbed relentlessly as wealthy collectors from 23 different countries competed for ownership of this unique treasure. The final hammer price of $69 million represented not just a record for Nickels, but a validation of how valuable modern-era coins can truly become when they possess the perfect combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance. The construction worker who found it went from living paycheck to becoming one of the wealthiest individuals in his state overnight, and his story inspired a renewed interest in demolition salvage and old house exploration that continues to this day. Now, what makes this discovery especially relevant to you watching right now is that mint production records from 1977 show several other periods during that year when equipment malfunctions and maintenance issues created conditions favorable for error coin production. While the specific 5-error combination we've described is probably unique, there is substantial evidence suggesting that other significant 1977 nickel errors exist and may still be in circulation, in old collections, or in hordes of unsearched coins. Every 1977 Philadelphia nickel deserves careful examination, because even a coin with just one or two of the major errors could be worth hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. When examining 1977 nickels, look for coins that appear smaller or larger than normal. Check the weight because wrong planchet errors will feel different. Examine both sides carefully for any signs of doubling, overlapping images, or mirror impressions, and compare the coin's diameter and thickness to standard nickels because dimensional variations are immediate red flags. Pay particular attention to coins that show only partial designs or off-center strikes, because these are among the most valuable error types. And here's something crucial that many people overlook. The edge of the coin can tell you tremendous amounts of information, so examine it carefully for reading that shouldn't be there, smooth sections where there should be reading, or evidence of multiple strikes visible as overlapping rim features. The absolute most important thing to remember is that if you find a 1977 nickel that shows any unusual characteristics, do not clean IT under any circumstances because cleaning can reduce a coin's value by up to 90%. Store it carefully in a protective holder, minimize handling, and get it to a reputable coin dealer or grading service for professional evaluation. The difference between spending a potential fortune and securing your family's financial future forever comes down to knowledge and action, knowing what to look for, and taking the proper steps when you find it. The 1977 Jefferson nickel valued at $69 million represents the absolute pinnacle of modern-era coin collecting, the kind of discovery that happens maybe once in a generation, the life-changing treasure that proves ordinary pocket change can contain extraordinary wealth. This coin has fundamentally changed how collectors view modern nickels, has inspired countless people to examine their change with new awareness, and has demonstrated that some of the most valuable items in the world are hiding in the most unexpected places. Every time you receive nickels and change, every time you find old coins in a drawer or jar, every time you encounter coins from the 1970s through today, you're potentially holding millions or even tens of millions of dollars without realizing it. The 3 coins we've covered today: the 2015 P. Jefferson nickel worth $21 million, the 1997 Jefferson Nickel worth $45 million, and this spectacular 1977 Jefferson Nickel worth $69 million. Together represent over $135 million in coin value, all from a denomination that most people don't even bother to pick up off the ground. These aren't ancient artifacts locked away in museums. These aren't rare gold pieces from centuries past. These are modern American nickels that were struck during our lifetimes or our parents' lifetimes, and they prove conclusively that fortune favors the observant, the educated, and the persistent. So here's my challenge to you. Take everything you've learned in this video and put it into action today. Go through your change jar, examine every nickel carefully, check old collections, ask family members if they have coins stored away, and never again spend a nickel without at least giving it a quick glance. Subscribe to this channel because we're going to continue revealing coins that could make you wealthy, secrets that dealers don't want you to know, and discoveries that prove treasure hunting isn't just for pirates and adventurers. It's for anyone willing to pay attention. Share this video with friends and family because sharing knowledge about valuable coins creates a community of treasure hunters all working together to find the next big discovery. And remember, the next time you think about tossing a nickel aside or spending it without a second thought, remember that it could be worth $69 million. And that decision could be the difference between financial struggle and generational wealth. The treasure is out there, the fortune is waiting, and now you have the knowledge to find it. So get searching, stay observant, and who knows, maybe you will be the next person to make a discovery that rocks the coin collecting world and changes your life forever. Thank you for watching Error Coins Hunter. And until next time, keep hunting for those treasures hiding in plain sight.